Hi, loves. I've had a really fantastic experience the other day as I allowed myself to relax and give up my martyr archetype a little bit. I finally started getting some space, some creative space, and something really cool happened. So I was listening to music, and I like loud music in my headphones. It just gets me going like nothing else. And I started channeling, but I started channeling a new healing modality the other day, out of freaking nowhere. And what came through was, it blew my mind. It's a hybrid between dance therapy, like intense dance therapy, sound, light language, and then hardcore spirituality where I'm able to pinpoint the parts and aspects of me that are coming through for healing, all merged into one magical, transformative experience. So essentially, what it is and what came through me is it's a chakra alignment type of dance experience. And it is like nothing else I've ever seen before. It is almost like each chakra tells its own story energetically. And it's essentially it's an embodiment practice. And essentially you're able to merge and feel into your root center, for instance, in your root chakra. And through dance and voice and sound, release the trauma that you or your ancestors are holding in the center. And do so very quickly. Like within 10 minutes, you can clear up so much ancestral stuff. And of course, I add light language. I add all of the other things that I'm good at. But this was different for me. And here's where this came from. So you guys know I've been working with people one-on-one the past 2 months, which I, don't really do anymore because that's not my calling. But the reason that was fantastic was because every time I was doing healing on people, I had to bring it home into the body. Like every single time we went back into the physical body, every single time. I read the Akashic records, I talk to people's higher selves, I do all this lofty spiritual stuff, quote unquote. And every time it's just something in their body that their body's telling them. And so I'm like, okay, where is it in your body? What does it look like? What does it feel like? Let's take it. Let's pull it apart. And for me, as an energy practitioner, it gave me a whole new appreciation for the physical body and the physicality of this existence. And I realized I've been too much in my higher centers, and really the embodiment practice is where it's at now. You may tell me, Mariya, okay, shamanic dancing, ecstatic dance exists. Like, what the hell? Like, people have been doing this, like all of these things. Yes. However, have you ever seen people being able to use dance to release trauma from the third eye? Like, what does that dance even look like? Do you guys know? Or like how to release the blockages from your crown center so you can freaking start to receive configurations and conflagrations from source. Dance has never been used, like at least in like modern day spirituality. Dance as a formal means of healing is usually used to heal like lower vibrations. It's used to heal root, sacral, maybe solar plexus, but what about all the higher centers? And the interesting part is that I was channeling this, and as I was experiencing this in my body, which was freaking powerful, like stuff like slavery came up for me in my lineage, in my root, like all these chains that I had to release, and it was just all through the movement. And essentially this whole modality is about tuning up to a particular frequency in the music, to a particular vibrational spectrum, and then literally allowing your body to become a channel. Because once that vibration enters, and if the purity of vibration is there, like that vibration is going to start clearing your body. And I think that the whole magic of this is to be able to do that through the entire chakral system. So long story short, I've always thought of myself as this channel, call it, I don't know, very cerebral person. Meaning, information comes through, I talk. And I thought that was my calling in life. And then this dance therapy comes through, and to be honest, the first thing that I thought was like, hell no. just no, like I will never do this. Like as a being, as a human, I'll be like, hell no. And then this voice therapy started to come through, which is essentially certain chakras can only be unlocked through voice. And so specifically higher, essentially higher heart and up, you need to use your voice to unlock these chakras and to remove all the blockages in there. And it just happens so that I know the right tune that you need to sing depending on your level of trauma. So I can look up at somebody and be like, okay, in your throat center, you have this issue around, I don't know, 3 lifetimes ago, this and that thing happened, and you just need to sing this particular tune to clear that thing up. How do I know it? It just comes through. The thing is, I can do it in groups and I can do it en masse. And you know, I've been going through my own process of like releasing my concept of self, what I am and what I'm not. Because in my mind, I was never the person that was going to do dance therapy, just so you know. In fact, it was when I was a kid, I did ballroom dancing for an ungodly amount of years, like 8 years, 12 years, who's counting? And, you know, I did some competitively and, you know, on stage and stuff. And I was never really all that great about, you know, at it. And so I still carry in my physical body this memory that I actually suck at dancing. And then I did this natal chart reading. The funny part is, so my astrologer told me that it's not that I suck at dancing, it's just the element that comes through when I'm dancing is fire and not water. And really the best dancers out there are like water people. These are like the flowy, you know, the flowy elements and like the flowy movements and somebody who can just really be a ballerina. That was never me. And so ballroom dancing, I was not really great at. And so she was laughing as she was doing my natal chart because she's like, Mariya, you really suck at dancing, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, I think so. And she goes like, okay, well, actually, no, wait a second. She's like, well, if it was shamanic dancing or tribal dancing, you'll be really good at it. Like, you just need to do the fire type of dancing. And the thing is, the fire dancing that my body is so good at is that healing dance. And at first, I imagined myself trying to teach people to dance as a means of spiritual release of deep set trauma. I mean, we're talking deep set trauma. We're talking somebody murder your entire family trauma that I can help somebody release through a few motions. And then the magic that happens, because I tried this on my husband the other day, and you know, the guy gets, you know, to be my guinea pig and everything. And so the stuff that started coming up for him, I literally feel it in my body as a mirror neuron. And I can be that vessel in my physical body to help release somebody's trauma just because I'm sensing the misalignment. And not only that, but I can bring in the highest chakras and my insight from like spirit and whatever spirit is telling me. So essentially I bring in my channeling too and my ability to read somebody's Akashic records to see, okay, like this is what they're ready to heal. This is not what they're ready to heal. So let me bring this frequency or this instrument or this song to help open them up. And listen, is this scary? 1 billion freaking percent scary. 1 billion percent scary. Because I was like, okay, I'm just a channeler. You know, I'm just going to channel from my higher self until I die and call it a day. And then spirit just comes through and they're like, Mariya, you want to teach people how to release their trauma through dance? And I'm like, you're joking. You got to be joking, right? Anyway, so here's what I'm doing. I want to do 3 experimental sessions in person to test out and to play with this new modality that I've just downloaded. Just because A, it lights me up. B, I freaking love dancing, as bad as I am at dancing. I also love singing. So if I get to sing with my tribe and my people, that freaking lights me up. And that just gives me life. And I'm gonna do 3 sessions and 3 sessions only with this modality. And you bet you we're gonna heal some deep stuff. They need to be in person because I need to see you, feel you, be in your auric field to be able to tune up certain things, because I don't know, I may need to use pressure points to really help people release. I don't fully know yet the depth I'm going to need to go to heal somebody if they have deep set trauma through this. But I am willing to go all the way. And if you guys want to go all the way with me, knowing that this is something that I just literally freshly downloaded from Spirit 2 days ago, if you're feeling adventurous, please DM me. DM me with something along. You can DM me the words dance therapy. Here's the thing, because it's in person, I'm going to open up in 3 different locations. So I'm going to do one on March 2nd in Tulum, if you're in Tulum. So I invite you. You can DM me Dance Therapy Tulum. That's March. Middle of April, I'm going to do one in Sedona. However many people show up. One person shows up, I'm going to do it for one person. 10 people show up, I'm going to do it for 10 people. Third one, I'm going to do at the beginning of June in Miami, because that's not too far from where I live. And these are the only 3 locations I'm going to do right now. So 2 in the US, 1 in Mexico. Yes, and the energy exchange for this is going to be $250. That's what Spirit wants to charge for this. It's not really me, because it's really Spirit and the universe that's working with you. It's not really me. I'm just here kind of being the vessel, like, you know, and then the traffic control, that's all I do. Yeah, so if this feels like, oh my God, Mariya, what the hell, let's try, this is gonna be fun. Yeah, DM me, Dance Therapy, because I don't even know what the name of it is. I think it's Dance Therapy, some type of hybrid approach, but there's also light language, there's me channeling, it's gonna be crazy good. Yeah, and it's gonna be very small groups in person, and that's the only, that's really the only way to work with me in person outside of my one-on-one retreat. Okay, if you're curious, please send me a DM and, I'll send you the payment link. We're gonna call it a day. All right, bye loves.